Hi, good afternoon and welcome. This afternoon I'd like to try out a wear test of a foundation I heard about on YouTube because, you know, where else am I going to hear about these things? Now, this foundation is by Revlon. It's called the Revlon Candid Foundation. If you don't know, I am a big fan of the Revlon Colour Stay, which I think is an absolute fantastic foundation. I've got the Revlon Colour Stay in the shade Mocha, so I just assumed that this colour would be okay for me as well. I bought it from Superdrug online, so I bought a few things from Superdrug online. The shade on the screen looked like it would be okay, but the package arrived yesterday, and you know what? That colour doesn't look like... If I'm going by the colour of this doesn't look like it's going to be a decent colour match for me. It looks like it's going to be too light compared to the screenshot. Let me show you what the screenshot on the Superdrug site is like. Look at that screenshot compared to the colour. You can see how much darker that is compared to that. And I literally went by that and the fact that I've got the colour stay in the same colour. So I'm hoping that the product in the tube is this colour and not this colour. If it's this colour, we're going to have a few problems today. Right, so let me tell you about the product. I've seen this used by a few YouTubers over the last few weeks. So the ones I like to watch are Thrift Thicke, so because she has oily skin, not as oily as me, but she has got oily skin, and Samantha Jane, she has got oily skin as well, but again her skin seems to be improving, so she's still definitely on the combination oily now rather than very oily. But they both really liked how the foundation looked to them. It looked great initially, but they both did say that oil did come through towards the end of the day, but it wasn't too much, and I tend to expect a little bit of oil production with me towards the end of the day as well. So I want to see how this works out. So as I said, I bought it from Superdrug. There are 20 shades, so it's a good shade range. There are about 2 or 3 shades darker than the Mocha. So there's 20 shades and they go from like very fair, I think the lightest colour is ivory, right down to, I think it's espresso, I think is the deepest colour. The cost is £9.99, and of course when you buy things from Superdrug they've always got some sort of deal on, so it'll be like buy 2 get third free or something like that. Or what they've got as a current deal at the moment is save £4 when you buy 2 Revlon products. So I bought this foundation. I also bought the face powder that goes with the brand. I bought a brow product, an eyeliner, because I'm actually needing a liquid eyeliner. I never thought I'd be saying that anytime soon. And 2 lip products. So let's go with the foundation first. Before I do that, let me put on a primer and then I'll read what it says about the foundation. So the primer I'm going to use is my Becca Ever Matte Poreless Primer. I'm just going to put that all over my face, basically because, as I said, I saw that both girls, when they did their reviews, Thrift Thicke and Samantha Jane, they both did have oil coming through. But I don't think either of them have skin as oily as me, so I'm not taking any chances. So I'm just going to put this on as my primer. So that's that done. Right, let's see what they say about it. So, product information. So they say product information, Revlon Photo Ready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation is a skincare inspired ultra blendable, ultra buildable foundation. The foundation features antioxidants, anti-pollution and anti-blue light, and best of all, no oils, no phthalates, no synthetic dyes and no fragrances. So it sounds like it's actually quite a decent product. There's no synthetic dyes and no fragrances. This foundation is a medium to buildable coverage with a natural finish. It doesn't say if it's cruelty free or vegan, so none of those things are mentioned here. So let's have a look, see if there's anything on here. No, there's nothing to say that it's cruelty free or vegan, so we're just going to assume that it's not. Features, they say it's what's in anti-pollution, antioxidant, anti-blue light ingredient. When they talk about blue light, I think they're talking about sort of screen time, because apparently I know my optician says this, that the amount of time we now spend in front of screens and laptops and stuff, it gives off a blue light that's supposed to be harmful for our eyes and our skin. I'm not quite sure why it's harmful, but apparently it is. So that's the whole blue light thing. I don't know if that's a real thing or if it's just a marketing thing. I really don't know. But I know when the opticians say it, I don't believe them, because it's just another way for them to make you spend more money on your lens. Right, so they say what's out: oiled, phthalate, synthetic dyes and fragrances. They say it's a creamy texture that goes on like a moisturiser, then blends invisibly to even out skin tone weightlessly. 31 skin tone matching shades, so it's 31, okay. Premium pump packaging, medium buildable coverage, natural finish, keeps skin feeling moisturised all day. Okay, then it's got a list of the ingredients in there. It's got castor oil as like the first ingredient. I thought it was supposed to be oil free. Mica dimethicone, so it's going to have a silicone-y feel about it, and that's probably going to give that sort of smooth, slightly mattifying effect. It's got glycerine in it, aqua, water, amino methyl, some sort of protein, yeah, dimethicone and some other stuff. The size of the packaging is, okay, it's not even a 1 fluid ounce, so it's 0.75 fluid ounce, so it's 3/4 of the normal size we get for foundation, 22 mils. So we normally have 1 fluid ounce and 30 mils. This is 0.75 fluid ounces and 22 mils. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do concealer because I want to see what the coverage is like on this. They say it's medium to medium buildable foundation. I'm going to do half my face with a sponge and half my face with a brush. So I've got a beauty blender here, and I've got my Sigma brush here, which is the F80 brush. Yes, flat kabuki F80 brush, that, and the now looking rather knackered beauty blender. Tell you what, I'm going to stop buying beauty blenders because I don't think they last that long. I really don't. You know, brushes, my sponges like Real Techniques, I'm sure they last longer, but so I'm going to stop buying them. So let's see what this colour's like. So I'm a little bit, that's going to be too light. Okay, I'm going to try and make it work. So let's do a pump and a half, but that colour is definitely too light compared to the colour on the screen, so that's worrying. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna look ashy today, and I'm going out. I'm taking my daughter to the cinema this afternoon, well, in about an hour's time really. She wanted to go and see, oh, what did she want to go? She wanted to see a film called Keeper, but her friends, one of her friends is, I would say she's a bit more young in her behaviour, immature. She wanted to see Dumbo, so, and I think the rest of the gang would have been happy to see anything. One of them I know has seen Dumbo already, but we seem to be pandering to this one girl, unfortunately, because she didn't enjoy the last film they went to, which is a little bit too mature for her. So we're going to go and see Dumbo. I don't mind because it's got Danny DeVito in it, and I like Danny DeVito. Okay, how's that looking for coverage? It's definitely light to medium, so definitely can build it up. The colour, yeah, it's not giving me that much coverage, is it? So I'm going to do another pump. What have I done with it? I'm going to do another pump and see how we go with that. Okay, so using the sponge, it's definitely giving me medium coverage. It's not hiding all my discoloration, my hyperpigmentation. The coverage is very much skin-like, but let's see what it's like when it dries down. So I'm going to do the other side with the brush and see what that's like. The undertone is actually very pinkish. Can you see that? I've never seen an undertone like that before. Where are they going with that? On a deep skin tone foundation. Definitely not the same colour as the Revlon Colour Stay. Okay, so coverage with the brush is definitely better. I would say this is a solid medium going towards full coverage with the brush. So obviously you're going to get better coverage with the brush. If you've got sort of discoloration, hyperpigmentation on your skin, this is the way to go. If your skin's pretty clear, then you can get away with using just the sponge. At the moment it does feel very light. It's actually quite cool in feeling, so I just kind of sort of noticed that it is cool when you apply, which is weird, but it does. It feels light like a moisturizer. This is dried down, so it's very much a natural skin-like finish, isn't it? So I'm just going to do this side with a brush, just blend the whole thing out, and then I'll give you a time of application and I'll do the rest of my face. So that's how the foundation is looking. It does look pale on me, so this is very much a winter foundation for me, because I know I'm not going to be able to get away with this in the summer, this particular shade. So what I'm going to be really looking at today is the formula and the performance of this foundation, and obviously I'll be looking at the oils, how it controls the oils and the transfer of the foundation as well. But how it looks on my forehead, because my forehead is actually drier than the rest of my face, so it actually looks decent on my forehead. Let me see if I can. My forehead always tends to look a little bit patchy for some reason, and I think it is because it is just a different skin type to the rest of my face. So my forehead is drier. So on my forehead it does look alright. Can you see that okay? Let's bring you in a bit closer. So that's how it's looking on my forehead. So it looks very skin-like. Pores, I've got a few sort of largish pores on the upper part of my face, which is obviously the oilier part of my face. So the pores aren't too bad, but then that could be down to the primer I put on beforehand. Around my face it looks okay. The coverage is nice, it's actually settling down, it's drying down now. It's actually looking almost like a nice skin-like finish. So let's give that a couple of minutes and then I'll give it the time of application, which is, so time of application 12:15. So I expect to wear this for at least 6-7 hours at least. It's not going to be a long day because I want to try and do as much of this in natural daylight as possible. I am going to be going out and about, out in the elements. I will be walking, so there probably will be a little bit of sweat because I'm pretty bad like that. I'm going to put on the powder that came with the collection. So it's a Revlon new photo ready candid powder, anti-pollution setting powder. There was only 2 shades available. Let me get the information up. Only 2 shades available in the setting powder, so I got it in shade 001, and the alternative it's got setting powder and you've got 001. So I went for the 001. Don't know if I made a mistake there. Product information about it. It just says Revlon Photo Ready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder, a loose setting powder infused with antioxidant and anti-pollution ingredient to set and protect. It's lightweight, airbrush finish for a blurring effect, universal translucent shade that is non-whitening, non-chalky, no mess packaging with sifter. The size of it is 0.5 ounce, 15 grams. So how's my face looking? Yeah, very skin-like. It's just the shade I'm unhappy with, but it's a skin-like finish. It looks actually quite natural. It's just the shade that's wrong for me, really, but never mind. Let me bring it out. Let's do this powder. So it's got a nice little sift like that. That's cool. On. I now do look pale. This is definitely a winter colour for me. Yeah, the shade, but the powder feels nice. It feels like it's setting, so that's all good. Next I bought I didn't tell you how much the price of the setting powder was. Setting powder cost, powder was also £9.99. It's actually quite expensive. So £9.99 for the powder, so £20 for the 2. Right, I also bought a Revlon Colour Stay Brow Pencil, again from Superdrug, and this cost £6.99, so let's put this on. Got it in was soft black. which is 223. But it's actually quite a dark black for me. Because I'm sort of older and my hair isn't jet black because it's greying, I tend to go for more softer blacks, almost dark brown. And this black is actually almost too dark for me, so not as soft as I would like it. But it's a creamy formula, don't know. And they say it's colour stay, so I'm assuming it's going to last all day. Because the usual brow pencil I buy is from Benefit, the Goof Proof brow pencil or the Precisely My brow pencil. I mean, it looks alright, that's fine. I mean, I'm no brow expert, but it looks fine. It's just a little bit too dark for my taste, so that's fine. So I'm just going to do some eye makeup, nothing flash, just a little bit of simple eye makeup. Okay, so I bought two lipsticks from Superdrug as well, both by Revlon again. So this one is from Revlon. It's called the Ultra Hyper Matte Mousse Lip in shade Desert Sand, and this costs £8.99. So it's that colour. So I'll do a swatch so you can see what the colour's like. So it's got a doe foot applicator. It's actually paler than I thought it would be. I thought it would be deeper. Again, going by that, I thought it would just be a deeper colour. But you know what, it might work with what I want today, because I don't want to go too deep today in the colour. And then I've also got this one, which is called a Revlon Kiss Plumping Lip Cream. And I've got this in the shade 540, which is Velvet Mink. And that costs, and this costs £6.99. Right, and the shade looks like, so it's that kind of applicator, just like a lip gloss applicator. And the shade is, I think I'm going to put this one on today. So let's do this one. Yeah, I think my look is okay, just for some time out with my daughter's friends and their parents. So yeah, it'll be nice just to walk around. Very casual, but still look presentable. Yeah, I think we look alright. So, and then I'll do a final check-in at the end of the day. And when I do my final check-in, I'll be looking at the price of the foundation. I'll be looking at the performance. So did it fade, did it melt, did it separate on my oily skin? I'll be looking at the oil control, looking to see if it transferred at all. And I'll be looking at the price compared to other products in the market and how my feeling is about it. Is it worth the money, basically? So don't forget, the foundation costs £9.99. This is how it's looking now. It actually looks really, I actually think it looks nice now. It's kind of settled down on my skin. It's kind of blending in with my skin shade now, so I'm not actually too unhappy with it. Yeah, it's kind of working all right with me. So it has settled down. I would say it has oxidized slightly. So when I say oxidized, it's dried down to a slightly darker shade, not much, but slightly darker. Obviously I did put a contour on as well, just to give a little bit more depth to the colouring as well, so that's probably helped in making it look a bit better. I didn't do an under eye highlighter because that would have lightened up my face a bit more, and I don't want to do that because I was a bit worried about the shade as it was. So I will see you in a bit, and we'll see how this foundation performs during the day. Ta-da! and welcome back. So I am back from a day out with my daughter and her friends. Been wearing the foundation for about 7 hours. So let me just show you the time now. Yeah, so it's literally just coming up to 7:15. So it's been about, yeah, near enough 7 hours I've been wearing the foundation for. The foundation I was wearing today was the fairly new one from REVLON. REVLON Cosmetics, and it's the CANDID foundation. They say that it's available in 31 shades. I purchased it from Superdrug, and I think there's something like 20 shades available in Superdrugs. And I'm wearing the shade Mocha. So let's go through this, shall we? When I do my foundation reviews, I tend to use a system I've got called TOPS, and that stands for, the T stands for transfers, whether the foundation transfers, for the oil controlling properties, to see whether the P stands for performance. So does the foundation melt, fade, separate? Does it oxidize? How does it feel? All of those kind of little actions about the foundation. The second P stands for the price. So how does it compare to other drugstore foundations that are out there? And the final one is S for the shade range available. So let's go through this. So just going by what they say about the foundation on their website. So this is the revlon.com website. It says the skin enhancing natural looking foundation delivers a flawless finish all day long as it hydrates. So looking at my face now, so don't forget I'm a very oily skinned person. It's not that hot out there today. It was actually quite cold. It was about 10 degrees centigrade. So it was actually quite cold. I didn't blot at all, and I have been walking around. So the foundation, how does it look? It went on fairly, it blended and it applied pretty flawlessly, blended out easily. All day coverage, so it's been fairly flawless all day. It hasn't melted or faded or separated at all. Let me bring you in closer so you can see for yourself. It is getting dark, so I'm going to speed through this. So you can see for yourselves. Obviously it's oily, so we'll talk about that in a moment, but it hasn't really separated. It's still pretty flawless, so I'm going to blot it in a moment so you can see what it looks like, but it looks pretty good. The other thing, it says that it hydrates. Well, my face has felt hydrated, moisturized all day. It hasn't felt greasy, and it still doesn't feel greasy now. Or I can look in the viewfinder and I can see that it is oily, but it doesn't feel greasy, doesn't feel overly oily, so that's all good. It says you get medium coverage that feels weightless and looks like your best skin. When I initially applied it, it did look pretty decent. It looked like a very natural skin finish. Feels good with anti-pollution, antioxidant and anti-blue light ingredients to protect your skin. I can't speak on that because I don't know what it does. I wouldn't know. Probably long wear, I don't know. I don't live in a heavily polluted area, so I can't really speak on that property. It says feels better without oils, parabens, phthalates, synthetic dyes and harsh fragrances. So yeah, it feels fine. I mean, again, they're saying it hasn't got any of those sort of more harmful fake ingredients in there, so that's all good. And it says it's available in 31 makeup shades. As I said, Superdrug has got 21 shades. Right, so when I do my tops testing, I use blotting sheets like this, and I sort of apply it to my face. What tends to happen, good foundations, ones that are kind of long lasting, long wearing, they will tend to use really about 2 sheets. Foundations that aren't so great at controlling my oil, they'll need more than 2 sheets. So let's do this. Sheet 1. So we can see there straight away on my forehead, that is pure oil right there. That is pure oil, a little bit and some foundation transfer. Right, so I've had to use four sheets like this, which are completely covered in oil and foundation, and I had to use this 5th one here just to mop up. So we're looking at 4.5 sheets here. So if I'm going to mark out of 10 for oil control and for transfer, it definitely transfers. So just expect that once your oils start to come through, this foundation is going to transfer. So for transfer, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. For oil control, well, you can see there, it's a cold day, it's not even hot, loads of oil in those sheets there, that wasn't great. So again, I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10 because that wasn't controlling my oils at all. For performance, well, now that the oils come off, I can see now if it's faded or stuff, faded, melted or separated at all. It hasn't really. It's actually, now that I've taken off all the the oil, it still looks pretty good, still looks nice. It's got a really nice finish underneath. So if you've got dry normal skin and maybe possibly combination, you're going to like how this foundation performs, because after 7 hours it looks decent now that I've removed the oil. So I think for performance I'm actually going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, because it applies well, it easily blended out, no problems at all. It gave the coverage that they said it would give, and it was buildable. You don't really want to be caking this kind of foundation up to full. If you want full coverage, then go to another foundation, but you can get a decent flawless finish coverage, and you can build it up to get a decent medium coverage. So I would say for I would say for performance, I'm going to give this a good 9.5 out of 10. I think that's all right. For price, well, it's $9.99. That's like the average price for a decent drugstore foundation now. I would say this foundation is targeted more at dry skin, normal skin, and possibly up to combination skin. So if you've got oily skin and you've seen what happens with me, you're going to have to be blotting if you're going to look at long wear foundation, because your oils are going to come through and it's going to look really oily like mine did at the beginning. So this is definitely a foundation for the dry to combination skin. So for the price, $9.99, it's a decent drugstore foundation. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Shade range for drugstore foundation again. If I take NYX out of the mix, because NYX is just extraordinary, it's got 45 shades. I think they've even got more shades now, but at least 45 shades. If I take that out of the mix, other drugstore foundations, they don't tend to have that many shade range. So I think 20 to 31 shades is pretty good. It's actually excellent really for a drugstore, and it kind of makes you think that you don't have to spend your big money, your 20, 30, 40, even £50 for a foundation, when you can get foundations like this that'll perform pretty well. So I said, it's not targeted at oily skin people, but for everybody else, $9.99, you're getting a decent foundation here, because it still looks pretty decent. It's got skin benefiting properties and it looks good. So I would say for shade range, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 for what it is, a drugstore foundation. So what's that score wise? I can't add it up. I'll put the score along the screen somewhere along here. Overall then, I think this is a thumbs up as a foundation. I think it's actually really decent. I tend to have like a pass mark for foundation, so if it passes 35 then I will wear it again. 38 and above, that means it's going up there in my sort of favourite foundations. So I think this foundation is definitely past the 35, because I can't remember what scores I gave. So this is a good foundation. So if you're looking for an affordable foundation that feels light, it's long lasting, it's going to give you a decent coverage, it's got the shade range, it applies easily, and it's got some skin benefiting sort of properties, I would suggest this foundation. It's pretty good. But if you could go into store to trial it and do your shade match, I would, because if you go by the screen you're not going to have much success. You really are not, because if you remember earlier, I did this shade. The shade match I chose on the screen is not the shade match we've got going on here. But hey, what do you think? Is this a foundation that you would consider buying? It's not bad foundation. I can honestly say that it's not a bad foundation at all. Let me know what you think. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, let me bring it out. Way too close. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a like, just to show that you appreciated that I've shown you this video. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, again, I would really be happy if you could join the family. Tap into where it says subscribe, it will go from red to grey, and whilst you're at it, if you press the bell, that will notify you of when I do my next upload. Alright, take care and thank you very much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.